What's up, everybody? Thanks for taking a couple of minutes to check out my channel. This is my first attempt at using this type of a process for tanning. I've used the orange bottle type stuff before on a couple of furs. I'm no professional taxidermist. I actually watched a couple other videos of taxidermists doing their thing, and I guess the one that I found most informative and presented the best was Amy's Taxidermy. If I can leave a link, I'll leave a link to that video that I watched. She has a lot of taxidermy videos too, but I'll try to leave a link to that video in my description. She does a real good job of explaining the whole process and everything. But I'm just going to show you how an amateur is going about it and show you my final product when I'm done. So hope you all enjoy this video, and thanks for taking the time to watch it. Okay, a couple of people said they were interested in how my tanning turned out. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing here. I got most of this stuff was given to me by Ralph Kint, and these are Pro 1 chemicals. The first two I got here is the liquid safe acid, and then I got a degreaser. She also gave me the tanning solution. It's in there. But I had mixed up my pickle. I started with 3 gallons of warm water. I added 3 pounds of salt, stirred it up with my fancy stirring stick. If you can't find one of these, let me know. I'll send you one for $5. But I checked my salinity level with this, I'm not even sure how to say this, salimeter. That sounds like an aquatic bug or something. But anyway, I checked it with this. Ralph told me to get to 43%. And I had to add probably about another quarter pound of salt or so. But 1 pound of salt per gallon is a really good starting point anyways. So I used that and got that baby right to 43%. I ended up having to add an extra half fluid ounce. I put in 1.5 ounces. He has on here half fluid ounce per gallon of water. And I just used a tablespoon. A tablespoon is a half fluid ounce. So I added 4 of those, which was 2 fluid ounces in 3 gallons, and I got my pH level. Got one of them strips here. I got my pH level is right at about like 1 to 1.5. So I know that once I add my pelt, I'm going to take my gray fox pelt and clean it all off and rinse all the salt off and the blood and any other debris out of it. I'm going to add it to there, and I know I got to keep an eye on it for the first, I don't know, several hours, checking the pH level, because I guess the pH will rise and I'll have to add a little more acid to drop it back down. And then I guess this pickle, you can just keep reusing it once you got it mixed up, as long as it's not too dirty. So the next step I'll be doing is adding my fur to there after I clean it all out and letting it sit in there for a couple days. All right, on to the next step of the tanning process. I have 2 fox in here actually. The first one has been in here for 4 days in the pickle solution, and I'm going to be taking it out of here and putting it into a solution of, I got 2.5 gallons of water, 1 cup of salt, and a 1/4 cup of baking soda. That's going to take the pH from this is about 1 to 1.5 right now, probably closer to 1, and it's going to raise the pH level up to, I think, around 4 is where you want it. But it has, like I said, it has salt, and there's my ever-present helper Toby. Salt and baking soda in there. That other stuff has nothing to do with this. I'm rendering beeswax too, trying to do 2 things at once. But anyways, it's going to come out of here. I'm going to here for just about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to wring it out and hang it up to dry, probably overnight. It's pretty humid and stuff out right now, so it's probably going to take a little bit of time for it to dry. And then after that, we'll get on to putting the tanning oil on it. Okay, so it was in the neutralizing solution for 15 minutes. Now I got it hanging up here, and I'm going to let this dry at least for several hours. And I got little pieces of bark all over. I guess maybe I should have used something other than a stick to stir it, but I think I'll be able to work all that stuff off of here. Hopefully I'm doing this right. I got the tail split open here, got my ears opened up really well. Still have the cartilage on the inner part of the ear though. And next step is going to be brushing on the tanning solution. All right, in the last step, we took the fox out of the pickle bath, put it into a neutralizing bath with some baking soda and stuff to bring the pH level back up. And then I hung the fox up to dry. It's not completely dry, it's sort of tacky. And I let it hang for about 12 hours at least, maybe 12 to 14 hours. So I'm going to take a paintbrush now. I got my tanning oil. All of these chemicals are Pro One chemicals that I got from Ralph Kent. So I'm going to be just brushing this tanning oil on here. I have it in some warm water. Got the tanning oil is warmed up. Just going to brush it on with a paintbrush. Then I'm going to turn the fox back, first side out, roll it up and let it set for about 24 hours. And then I'm going to turn it back out and let it dry out some more. Okay, got this guy in my garage now. It's been soaking up the tanning oil for about 24 hours, maybe a little longer. Hopefully it's all soaked in good. Now I'm going to turn it right side or hide side back out again. And I'm going to hang it up overnight. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I still feel a lot of tanning oil. I don't know if I should let it go another night or not, but we're going to see what happens here. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go like this and we'll see. Right or wrong, I'm giving it a go. I got my gloves on because I had just got done working with a coyote too. Well, hopefully it soaked up enough tanning oil, and I'm gonna let it dry out some, and we'll check it in a day or so. Okay, I've actually let this hang for 2 days, 48 hours, and I'm gonna just see how this goes with trying to start to break this leather. And I'm just gonna start trying to give it a little stretch here. Oh wow, check that out. Yo, that was pretty cool. Yo, that is something. Check that out. It's not even oily on my hands or anything anymore. It almost turned white right there. Now the pelt, I don't know if it's going to turn solid white because it was a pretty blue pelt to start with. But check that out. You just pull that. This white area was where it was already turning prime a little bit. Let's check this out right here. Yo! Wow, that's almost, if that is, this is like, I barely did anything to it already, and it's, I have done, this is, I guess it's sort of catching me off guard. I know I got a lot of this sinewy stuff here. I may have to do a better job fleshing the next time I do one. But just for a wall hanger, I'm not super concerned about that stuff. I mean, for an initial just breaking here, that's pretty cool. I'm going to work this hide some. I'm just starting just by pulling on it a little bit, and that was sort of cool how that just went like that, went and turned almost white. I'm going to be working this hide over some. I'm going to rub it on some wood and stuff, and like the corner of a board or something. And I'm going to show you what the final product looks like when I'm completely done with it. I know the head's going to take a little more effort here, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the ears yet. But they're turning, when I pull on the ear, they just went and turned right there. The head is usually a tough spot, I think, to get soft. That turned pretty white right there. Alright, so I'm going to work this hide over for a while, and then I'll come back and show you the final product. Alright, so I spent a little bit of time softening up this hide. The the neck part of it was probably the thickest part, but it's all pretty soft. I mean, I'm happy with the way it turned out. Even the face came out pretty soft. You can see it right here. Down here, this isn't as white, but I think it's mostly because the actual hide was blue. And I was peeling some of these wickers off of here, but I mean, I could pick them off all day long. And in a couple of places, the hide was starting to get thin, but it's all coming out pretty good. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to snip these earbuds right here, and then hopefully when I turn this thing, I'm going to be able to flip those ears back right side out, and that cartilage that I left on there might help the ears stand up. We'll see how it goes. I'm not sure. I do know I bent the whiskers on this guy, but everything, I mean, the head is nice and soft. Turned out pretty good so far. I'm going to turn this thing, work on the ears, and then I'm going to rub it down, like wash it, sort of wash it, whatever you want to call it, with some sawdust. I know some people take them and put them in a tumbler. I think I saw Amy doing that on Amy's taxidermy, tumbling it in sawdust, just to try to get any last oils off. So I'm going to work on flipping this guy, then I'll show you the final product. Okay, so for video's sake, this is going to be my final product, really, but I am going to rub it down with some sawdust. I mean, it doesn't feel greasy or anything. That degreaser works pretty good. There might be a little oily down in here, and I might take a scalpel and trim some of these rougher edges off. But again, it's soft. The fur is not real prime. The ears, actually, I think I know one mistake I made. They actually pop back out pretty cool, and I like how the cartilage in there, the way it turned out, really, it's holding the ear up. The one thing I didn't do, I think, is that I didn't go clear up to the tip of the ear when I was separating the back of the ear from the cartilage. And it left a funny little hump in both ears. But I think if I can find a way to straighten that fur and have it coming straight up, it sort of let the fur kink down here. But if I can get that fur to stand straight up, and then the ears, they have all the inside cartilage and stuff on them, instead of like shriveled up into a ball, or the whole inside cartilage ripped off. So I think I like that effect, really, with the ears standing up a little better. Like I said, I'm going to try to straighten that up a little bit, but for video's sake, that's going to be about it. I am going to try to straighten these whiskers up a little bit too. I don't know what the heck I did here, really. I'm not sure if it was in the tanning process, or if the way I was scraping it or something. I damaged the whisker somehow. But I mean, this is my first go with that type of a tanning thing, and for trying to work the ears a little better. So I think with a little more practice, I'm going to get pretty decent at the ears. I think they're going to look pretty cool, especially on like a red fox that has a real big ear on it. I would really like to catch a really nice prime, either red or gray fox, and try to make a rug out of it. So thanks everybody if you've made it through this whole entire video. I appreciate everybody watching. Have a blessed day, everybody.